Thanks, Crawford. Good morning. What I'm going to talk to you about this morning is the exciting but chaotic world of mobility. You know, more and more people are using more and more mobile devices all the time. In fact, I'd say it's probably reached the point where many of you can't even imagine what life would be like without all those mobile devices. It's just absolutely crazy how many different things are out there. So what I'm going to talk to you about this morning is the fact that this world of mobile devices is not just about the devices. In fact, this world is about devices and platforms and services all mashed together. I need my clicker. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to introduce you to some new concepts that I hope will make it all clear. And then along the way, just to spice things up, I'm also going to talk about etymology and squirrels. Now, the key takeaway of my talk is while there is convergence in the world of mobile devices, it's not exactly where you expect it to be. In fact, when it comes to devices and platforms and applications, there's a huge amount of divergence. The convergence is in the data and services that enable all these things to work together. Now, in order to achieve that convergence, companies are going to have to focus on the individual, both as a consumer and as an individual employee of an organization, and figure out an ecosystem that allows all of these different elements to work together in a seamless way. In other words, what you need to do is not just consumerize IT, but individualize IT. Now, there's a lot of challenges along the way in order to achieve this vision, but challenges create opportunities. And we see lots of opportunities out there for both large companies and small ones. So I'm going to start with an overview of the big picture. Here at the center of the picture, we have this notion of everything mobile, where we have a world of devices and applications and services that all function together. But to achieve this notion of mobile everything, there are actually a lot of different elements that have to come together and be connected together to create a complete solution. So what I'm going to do in my presentation is walk you around the circle and describe each of the different elements and what each of them do in order to complete that whole solution. I'll start with devices. Now, I'm a hardware guy, so devices are important to me, but also I think for most people, devices are those things that we use to get access to the information. So, we get very passionate about these devices. In fact, when it comes to devices, you see a lot of people arguing over which devices are better, and even within the IT industry. In fact, some devices get people so excited, I think it distorts their view of reality. It's kind of like when a dog sees a squirrel. Any of you see the movie Up, the Pixar movie? The dog sees the squirrel. If you own a dog, you know what I'm talking about. Dog's perfectly calm, everything's going along fine, all of a sudden, squirrel! Dog goes nuts, kind of loses a sense of reality. That's what happens with a lot of these mobile devices. All right, before we get into the specifics of the mobile devices, let's go over the definitions, because there are a lot of different things out there. Now, we all know what a PC is, but IDC's definition of a PC is a device that has a desktop operating system. That's not desktop versus notebook, but desktop versus mobile. A netbook, which we also call a mini notebook, is a smaller version of a PC desktop OS. Tablet PCs have been around since 2002, and they run, again, a full desktop operating system. But quite honestly, they haven't really sold that well. The category that everybody wants to talk about these days is media tablets, the iPad, the Motorola Xoom, the Samsung Galaxy Tab. This is where the excitement is. Now, IDC's definition of a media tablet is a device that has a mobile operating system and the other characteristics you see. And finally, then, there's smartphones. And with a smartphone, of course, there's a mobile OS and a screen of 5 inches or less.